The debate is the thing. That's the poem that Justice James Ogoola did read out. The second presidential debate is coming up. Hopefully there will be another poem. But tonight we get to understand what are the preparations like, etc., etc. That's coming up on Newsnight. Justice James Ogoola, many thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me here.
Justice James Ogoola is the chairperson of the Elders Forum of Uganda. They are part of the organizers of the presidential debate. Justice Ogoola, I'll put a question to you that was put to me by one of my friends who said that, look, before the first presidential debate, there was a lot of hype and excitement and talk about it, you know, through the media, the Elders Forum, Interreligious Council of Uganda. What happened? They don't seem to feel the same hype, the same excitement. That's what somebody asked me. I would put the same question to you.
I'm not sure that that is true. We have been very busy. We've talked to TV stations. Last night I was on NBS. The night
and
before, tonight I'm here on NTV. I've just been answering questions by social media people. I think the same hype is there, but probably we are now traversing familiar ground, familiar terrain. So it may not be as dramatic as it was last time, but we are doing our best on this.
Do we know how many people watched the presidential debate on that night?
I do not know the numbers, but every indication is that we were probably number 3 worldwide that were watched on that night. The whole globe, if you count how many people watched our event and those who watched other events, we came in like number 3. Although someone also told me that probably we were even above the debate for the Republicans out in the US, that we beat them in numbers. I wish I knew the numbers. I don't know the numbers.
The first presidential debate was much really dealing with local happenings, you know, to do with governance, internal security, etc., etc. The second presidential debate is going to be tackling foreign policy and the like. Yes. The question there is out there is, how palatable is this to, you know, the Ugandan audience, foreign policy and so on, the things that concern them, corruption, etc., etc., those are a big deal. But foreign policy, South Sudan and so on, do you feel many Ugandan, this, you know, is something that excites them?
It's even a bigger deal, in my view. Take my little village of Busia. Magendo, which is cross-border trade, is a tremendous thing. That's how we live out there. Take the issue of we being landlocked and desperately depending on neighbors to our right, to our left, to our south, to our north. When they sneeze, we catch a cold here. Or is it the other way around? When they catch a cold, we sneeze. Take the trafficking in human beings. We are right at the center of that. How many of our people have been taken for a ride to say there are jobs in Arabia, there are jobs out there, only to end up in disaster? Those are impact on us. Take trade, international investments. That's impacting our economy, our well-being, our welfare every day. We may not see them as dramatically as we see the corruption and so on, but these are basic, fundamental, profound issues that affect the welfare of the nation.
Justice Ogoola, on the night of the first presidential debate, that day, I hosted you a few hours to the debate itself, and you assured us that candidate Yoweri Museveni was coming. Many were heartbroken. He did not turn up. Is he coming for the second presidential debate?
Our hopes, our understanding is that yes, he is coming. Where do we derive this confidence? From a number of things. There is evidence out there by which, one, he has sent a very high-powered team, the Secretary General of the party, the lawyers of the party, and other bigwigs, other heavyweights, who have routinely come to our meetings, even as late as today. And they come because there is that interest. They come to do the logistics. They come to be part of the resolutions of what is going on to make this debate. That, to me, is evidence that he is coming. I may also add one thing, that they have assured us that the interest for him and the resolution for him to come is there. What remains, however, are the details. For instance, when will he be available? What's the most convenient time for him to come? That's what's being worked upon.
And again, something that's bothered people is that why are we bending our backs over backwards to try and make it suitable for him? You know, the time is available, etc., etc. These are the candidates, communication goes out, this is the day.
I'm afraid we are not singling him out for that. That has been the lot of every candidate. There were two candidates where I had to go and talk to them. One of them was going to be in Soroti on that day. Another was going to be in Kabale. And we had to talk to them and find accommodation for everybody.
So have all the other candidates
not singling out anybody. It is our ideal and our policy is all candidates, as long as they're candidates, are treated equally.
And are they
irrespective of station? They have all shown they're coming.
Justice Ogoola, something that keeps coming up again and again is that debates such as this are very elitist. They reach out to people that, you know, are the middle class. They tend to think of it as. But then they don't get to vote. These are the people that recline in their chairs back home on that day. It's a public holiday, and then they watch NTV for the updates. Fundamentally, how does this debate get to influence people out there that are looking out to understand who does have policies that resonate with me, what I want to see, and henceforth they influence the way I get to vote?
We are at the beginning of a revolution, of a reform. We've never had these things before. So as we start, we are like children. A child starts by crawling. He then gets up on his feet. He then begins to run. He begins to sprint. Give us time. Give this nation time on these new instruments, new tools of politicking. It's too early to say that we should do it perfectly. We are on a learning curve. But having said that, I don't think that it's true that most of the people here will not understand the debate. Just focus on one item, for instance. What are the demographics of this country? We are told that 78% of the people voting age in Uganda are youth. And ever since we had this free education, UPE, USE, these are people who are now literate, people who understand issues, who understand the language in which these things are spoken. So it's changing. It's not what it used to be. It's changing, and people are beginning to know that issues matter and to understand how people debate those issues.
Maybe finally, Justice Ogoola, I'm sure you have been following the happenings, and some candidates have in one way or another incited violence, if not them, at least the people within their camps. Do we see a debate such as this get to extricate, you know, the general populace from this talk about violence and the fear-mongering there is?
That precisely, I'm glad you asked that question. That precisely is why we, the organizers of this debate, the Elders Forum, the Interreligious Council, that precisely is why we introduce this as a tool, a new tool of doing politics, so that we do it decently, we do it tolerating each other. We have a competition, but we do it civilizedly. And this is against what other tools we have here, which is a campaign rally, at which people speak with the passion, with the emotion, and if anybody who doesn't belong to that crowd shows up, if it's a yellow crowd and a blue person appears, or vice versa, there is the likelihood of violence, of hitting people, of abusing people. The debate does it differently. It's a civilized way of having a national conversation, of asking those of us citizens who offer themselves for leadership to tell us issues, and to do so in a civilized way, in a tolerant way. They can even shake hands with each other. They can crack jokes. That precisely is the essence of a debate.
We look forward to the presidential debate, the second one it is. Justice James Ogoola, thanks a bunch for talking to us. And
thank you.
We hope that there will be another of those poems on that day.
Thank you very much. The debate is the thing.
There you are. The debate is the thing. You don't want to miss that debate. It's happening on 13th February, Saturday. It is at 6 p.m. Catch it on NTV. That will do for Newsnight.